Hey guys, thanks for joining me in the series where I create a collection of sound packs for awesome instruments. This one is about Mana sound pack, the first in the series. And in this video I wanted to share some insights and tips about how you can use this pack and what was the idea behind it. So some time ago I wanted to create a collection of presets that allow you to make a drastic sound transformations by morphing or transforming from one sound to the other with a mod wheel. So I thought that Kult will be a great tool for this. So I started experimenting with making some drafts, and over the time I decided to share this with Peter from Dawson, and he liked it very much. So we decided to create a series of packs for various instruments of his, where I'm exploring different sound ideas. Since this pack is all about transformation, I called this pack Mana after Diablo, where mana is your resource or substance that allows you to cast spells. So this is a kind of reference to alchemy, which is all about transformation. Let's maybe explore some sounds. Here's the first interesting one, where I have this kind of noisy and water-like texture, and mod wheel gradually transforms it into this choir-like quality. The next one. This is pretty cool, kind of abrupt change. A violin is one of my favorites. I really like recreating these real-life instruments. Slide makes this kind of phasey beating style type of sound, and pressure in most cases increases the volume or distortion. And all of this in conjunction with the mod wheel make these really drastic changes while sounding really organic. This is what I strive for with this sound pack. I really like how each time when I play this, it creates completely different performance. You can see in this preset that I have a not one but couple of mod wheels assigned here with different transfer curves, so they kick in at different stage of the mod wheel control. For example, this one kicks in the halfway, and in this way I can create this kind of complex morphs. For example, I will show you on initialized preset how I would set it up. So let's take two sources. For example, this and this one. Okay, so by default we can assign mod wheel so it reacts in standard way by just shifting from one oscillator to the second one. But then if I want to make these transitions more seamless, I like to mask them, for example with chorus in this case. In order to do that, I set up a second mod wheel, and I want to make the chorus fully wet in the middle, so it kind of masks the transition point between those two sources. So now when you assign this mod wheel, it will make it fully wet in the middle and then move to the second source, and chorus will go down again. The chorus here is pretty interesting as it can nicely distort the sound. Yeah, this is the kind of distortion or increasing the volume. You can make up for it by reducing the voice out with the same mod wheel. And so in the middle it creates this moving kind of crazy sound. So this is the technique I used for some of those sounds to make those transitions more seamless and not that obvious. The other one technique I used quite a lot is controlled randomization. So you can see here I have those 3 Max for Live devices. This is so-called device randomizer. I have it here. Device randomizer. It's free on the Max for Live website. Don't remember the exact URL. You can Google it out. So in the case of this sound pack, I selected the parameters from 3 sections of this synth, from oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and filter section, and made them available here in this plugin wrapper. And then each of those sections are randomized by those 3 randomizers. So for example, let's take one of the sounds from the pack. Okay, so by default we are here on source 2, so let's randomize and see how sound changes. And now let's randomize oscillator 1. So this is how I like to work. I randomize certain groups of parameters in the synth until I find something interesting, and then I continue to tweak it manually. This way you can quickly create different drafts of sounds that you can later finalize. Another kind of technique that I really like is the so-called call and response type of sound, where you have a rhythmic beat or kick or something like that, and the other part of the sound is sidechained to it. So for example, we can take a sine wave and we can make it pulsing with an LFO. Let's make it unipolar. Some kind of triangle wave. So make it slower. Okay, so we have a pulse, and now we can make it into a kick by modulating the pitch with the other LFO. We can make it more steep to decay quickly. Yeah, so you have this kind of kick here. And then we can take the other sound. Actually, we can leave it faster. So this kind of pulse that we have here, it can make way for kick when it goes in. And this is the kind of sound that I like to make. A lot of this kind of sounds you can find in my other pack for Kult called Zeros. Let's ignore some drive. example, also add chorus that will also pulse, or the other way. Make it more spacey. Let's sync it. Remove some low end. And change the sound. You can incorporate some FM. We can randomize. Here's an example from Zero's pack. So some kind of kick and some kind of texture. Side chain with this one. And another one. Yeah, stuff like that. Now I wanted to talk about a couple of use cases that I found useful and interesting with this pack. The first technique is creating so-called signal sounds with this. With signals I mean the sounds that are usually used as hooks or accents in the track. Trailer tracks rely on this kind of signature sounds, so this is the kind of sound I'm referring to. You can easily create these kind of sounds by quickly moving the mod wheel and playing a note, for example like this. And now, octave below, we have a completely different vibe. Let's check other sound. Oh, this is very cool. And in this way, you can create a lot of different variations of these types of sounds. It all depends on your performance. Yeah, and this brings me to another technique which I used for one of the sample packs I created for my sample stream series. It was called Phantasm, and it's a collection of different kind of transition sounds, thrills and clusters. And basically I played notes randomly by applying different amounts of pressure and slide and using the mod wheel in the process. So this is what I've done. And suddenly you have this interesting kind of transition or sound effect. To me, it sounds super interesting. Push has this continuous glide surface when you do this. So you can create this kind of rises or downfalls. Maybe let's check this on some tonal sound. So you basically do this random kind of slide on the surface while moving the mod wheel. And you hit record in your DAW and capture these ideas, and you can reuse them later. I find this super inspiring. Here's the preview of that sample pack that I mentioned before. Yeah, so all of these were made in the way I just showed you with Mana, with in-progress versions of the presets. Now the other one technique which is quite obvious is to create slowly evolving kind of drones, sounds or soundscapes. So you basically hit a couple of notes and slowly move the mod wheel up. And then you can apply more pressure. And suddenly you have an intro atmosphere or something like that, some kind of transition in the track. Let's try this one. This kind of stuff. The next one I like to use is create pulsations with the sounds by quickly applying pressure on the pads. So you play some notes. And now you have this kind of pulse or groove going, just with this kind of pad sounds, because this is essentially what Mana is. It's a collection of pads and soundscapes, but you can repurpose them into other categories just with your performance. Now I'm doing these quick pulsations on the pad. My table is shaking. Wow, I find this super inspiring. I can't emphasize enough how MPE take these sounds to a different level. You have basically infinite palette of sounds with this. And of course the expressive kind of solos is an obvious use case here. Let's take my favorite, a violin. Let's go higher. It's pretty mind-blowing that it can sound that organic. I wish that Kult had this feature where you can drag the sample out of the corner of the plugin, like in Serum or in Myth. It's amazing feature for quickly creating a sample pack. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful, and see you on the next one.